So, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of you guys who are watching this video are feeling very overwhelmed with school. You have all these assignments and exams and you want to get straight A's, but you don't want to be that little nerd just studying all day in his room. Now, if that is you, I want you to listen very carefully to the rest of this video, because in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to study faster and still get your dream results. My name is Collin and I'm a computer science student at Yale University. In high school, I got a 4.0 GPA while studying max 2 hours a day. And I may not be a genius, but what I can tell you is that you, my friend, can do the same. You can become an academic weapon if you have the right mindset and the right strategy. So first, you want to fix your broken mindset. And there are 3 important study principles you need to know. The first study principle is to ditch all the easy stuff and study the hard things first. So guys, you want to focus your attention and time on studying the things that you have absolutely no clue about. Because 80% of students, what they like to do is just relearn concepts they already know. Why? Because it's easy to do, right? But honestly, you're just wasting your time. Like, if you want to be better at playing the piano, you don't want to be repeating the same 3 songs you learned 6 years ago over and over again, right? But you want to learn new songs, you want to learn new theories, new jazz chords, for example, in order to improve your game. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you will grow. And it goes the same way for school. So if you're studying calculus, for example, and you're really good at, let's say, derivatives, but you're not so good at integrals, then you want to focus your time and energy on studying integrals first. Or for example, if you're studying chemistry and one chapter is easier for you, but another chapter is harder and you don't know anything about it, then you want to study the other chapter first. Guys, you don't have to get everything perfect like the first time you study it. It's completely fine spending more time studying those harder concepts, because the point is you want to hone on your weaknesses such that they're no longer weaknesses by the time you're done studying. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you're going to get better grades in less time, rather than just doing questions you're already good at for that self-validation. So that is the first mindset shift that you must do. Now, the second important principle that will help you study faster is to trick your brain into thinking that what you're studying is super important, that what you're studying is really interesting. So guys, this is actually a trick that I learned back in high school when I was still studying for the SAT. So if you've ever taken the SAT, you would know that there's a reading section. And so what I did back then was I tried to trick my brain into thinking that the articles I was reading were super interesting. And what ended up happening is that I'm just able to absorb that information more, and thus increasing my results. And guys, this study principle is so powerful, especially when it comes to classes like English, psychology, science, and history. So how you do this principle is, before you start your study session, you take 20 or 30 seconds just to close your eyes and just visualize yourself. Think about why you're studying in the first place. So maybe the reason you're studying for physics is because you want to get a 4.0 GPA. Or maybe the reason why you're studying hard for your economics exam is because that's what you want to major in, and that's what you want to do in the future. So whatever the reason is, you just gotta start priming your brain into thinking that what you're studying is incredibly important, because you'll just end up being more focused and more able to absorb that information more easily. Now, the final mindset shift that you must do is to stop multitasking. Guys, I know sometimes you feel like you're a genius being able to juggle math, science, and an English essay. But realistically, if you're switching tabs all the time, doing 5 minutes on your English essay, and in the other 5 minutes solving your math problem set, you're not going to be able to get any work done, because you don't want to lose the benefits of being in that flow state, being just locked in and focused on one subject. So guys, if you want to become an academic weapon, you must be intentional with your studying. I don't care, even if it's just 20 minutes, if you schedule from 7 p.m. to 7:20 p.m, I want to study math, let's say. That is going to be much better than studying with no specific subjects in mind. The point is, if you focus on one subject at a time, you'll be performing much better than your peers. So now you have the mindset of an academic weapon. How do you actually study? What study techniques should I use? So the first thing you should master is active recall. And this is literally the main study technique that will allow you to study 2 hours a day while still getting straight A's effortlessly. So the gist of active recall is that you want to be testing yourself more than just passively reading the textbook. Now, 50% of students just study by reading the textbook and watching YouTube videos online. But what you want to do is to answer as many past paper questions as you can. Literally drill in all the past papers from 2010, because chances are your next exam is just gonna be a repeat in the concepts of all past paper exams. Now, what if you can't find any past papers? What if you can't find any past questions online? So what I like to do is make my own test. And by far the easiest way to do this is through using AI, like ChatGPT, for example. So what you can literally do is just copy paste your lecture notes into ChatGPT, or copy paste a chapter from your textbook into ChatGPT and ask it to ask you questions. And if you want to take this one step further, put those questions and answers on a Quizlet, and that way you can create flashcards for yourself and practice active recall. And I would also highly recommend spacing out your active recall study sessions. So for example, on a Monday night, let's say you dedicate 20 minutes to do your Quizlet, or let's say you dedicate 1 hour per week to finish 1 year's past paper. Guys, you'll be so ahead of your peers by doing this, and I guarantee you that you'll be able to retain that information better. So Collin, how long should I study for? How many minutes should I study? How many hours should I study per day? Now normally for me, 80% of the time, it's 2 hours a day. But on some days, you guys just gotta go grind for like 3-4 hours, and that is just completely fine as well. But usually, I like to get in my 2 hours of deep work right after my morning routine. Guys, what's much more important is that when you're studying, you're focused. So I would much rather you guys study for 20 minutes, focused without any distractions, as opposed to studying for like 1 hour with mid-focus, where you're multitasking and scrolling through Instagram every 5 minutes like a little monkey. And I guarantee you, if you have intention with your study sessions, if you just focus and lock in, you'll get so much more work done and you'll save a bunch of time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you level up. Also guys, you want to master the basics, because 80% of your success comes from understanding basic foundations. So for example, if you're studying computer science, before you can do all those like complex and hard problems, you want to have a strong foundation of things like variables, loops, and conditionals. Or if you're studying quantum mechanics, you want to have a strong foundation of the basic laws of chemistry and physics. So first, master the basics, and then use that as a foundation to learn new concepts more easily. Okay, one last thing guys. Studying doesn't have to be dull and boring. You can make it fun. Like sometimes I just blast some night jazz music or some lo-fi beats while I'm studying. And I know there's research out there that says studying without music is better for your focus, but honestly, I don't really mind. Because when you're enjoying your study sessions and when you're having fun, studying just becomes so easy. Also, you want to make your study room vibey, like maybe add some RGB lights, like me, or maybe buy a monitor and upgrade your desk setup. Because if you have a nice and cozy environment, studying is going to be much more fun. Also, if you don't like studying in a room, that's completely fine as well. You can go through different libraries, go through different cafes, and pick a spot that you enjoy studying in. Guys, if you follow all these steps, I guarantee that you'll be able to get better grades while studying less. And not only will you become an academic weapon, but you'll have much more free time to do other things like your hobbies and learn new skills. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you got any value from it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to be part of the family. God bless the hustle. We're all gonna win one day, and I'll see you in the next one.